There's a type of person that comes to mind when you hear the word cosplayer. An awkward nerd, obsessed with anime and comic books, dressing up and playing with props in convention halls. In the early years of this hobby, a lot of that may have been true. But since the turn of the 21st century, we've seen a shift in the kinds of fans this hobby attracts, and the kinds of places we're likely to see them. Social media has exposed great artists and creators within the cosplay community, and with the explosion of Marvel, Star Wars, anime, and video games in the last 20 years, what was once a nerdy and weird activity is rapidly becoming part of the mainstream. When did this public shift start to occur, and where is it going to take us? Kami is an anime fan who has been participating in conventions since she was 12. Her interest in cosplay started early on, but at a time when it was still a widely misunderstood hobby.
That was like the era where, only people who were really into like anime and cosplay knew what any of that was. Like, if you wanted to watch anime, you had to go to like the weird comic shop at the edge of town, and they had like a back room that had like recorded Japanese VHS, and like it felt illicit.
What attracted her to cosplay most was the inclusiveness of the community, which allowed everyone to feel safe expressing themselves and connecting with strangers.
One convention that I wore one to, some people might talk to you, and then like one instance I had some people cosplaying the same game that the character was from just came up to me and were like, "Do you want to go get tacos?"
Outside of comic conventions, some fandoms have added challenges. Disney fanatics may want to enhance their theme park experience by dressing as a beloved princess or mouse, but are prohibited from wearing costumes on any Disney properties. In 2012, Disney blogger Leslie Kay developed a workaround for this limitation. She coined the term Disney bounding, a way of putting outfits together from your closet that reference known characters but that aren't officially a costume.
So what is Disney bounding? I define Disney bounding as dressing in regular clothes that allude to a character.
Bailey Martinson has been Disney bounding since she was a teen. I asked her which came first, her love of fashion or her love of Disney.
Definitely Disney. Definitely grew up like watching like the sing-alongs and all of that stuff on like VHSs. For the clothes part itself, I cannot sew a straight line at all. But if I need any accessories or anything like that, I'll normally end up making them. For Bert, I didn't want it to just be Bert himself, and so I needed a purse, obviously, and so I actually made a little chimney.
With Disney bounding breaking the barriers between niche fandom and fashion, casual cosplay is suddenly everywhere you look. This summer, the trend exploded onto the pop culture scene when the Barbie movie became the event to dress for, with friends and strangers alike bonding and sharing style tips on social media. Will this turn out to just be a fad, or is it a shift in how the popular perception embraces community cosplay?
I hope it's a shift. I mean, I personally really enjoyed the way that like the Barbie movie like phenomenon was embraced.
That was the last time you ever saw me.
Swifties, or Taylor Swift fans, are a far reach from your average comic book fan, but the trend took hold of this massive fan base during the singer's Eras World Tour, as we saw thousands of music lovers cosplaying their favorite Taylor looks, or even conceptualizing her albums.
With Taylor Swift and her being such an influence on a lot of people, I was actually one of the people that was able to go to the Eras Tour, and so dressing up for that and seeing literally everybody in that stadium dressed up for it, so cool. And like normally you don't see thousands of people dressed up to that extent. It's almost like when you go to like a sporting event and you see everybody dressed up for the sporting event, it's kind of almost the same thing, and it's you bounding or dressing up for cosplay for like your own event. It's kind of the same thing, but just different all mediums, I would say. Yeah.
What we are seeing is a very human way of connecting to community. Within these seemingly different groups, one truth rings the same. We feel safe embracing our joy among our peers, expressing ourselves without judgment or shame.
I hope it's a shift because I think it's fun. I mean, I I kind of hate this element of culture that I feel sometimes where like people are really afraid of being cringe. It's like, and it's like, who are you worried about being embarrassed in front of?
Dressing like a character, a concept, or even just a fan gives you a feeling of freedom in your personal expression and simultaneously links you to a community of like-minded people who uplift and support you. It's a way of finding your tribe, so to speak, and there's a tribe out there for everyone.
You will meet people who, you know, have the same vibes that you're looking for in a community. Like if you just, you know, immerse yourself in the challenge of doing this thing.
The unifying trend of cosplaying is like a collective celebration for our shared experiences and our unique style. From the very beginning, cosplay has been a way for fans to find community, celebrate the art and media that matters to them, and express their own creative skills. Watching this trend evolve over time, this one facet of its value remains true. Cosplay is an artistic medium for people to express themselves while celebrating shared values with their community. As this form of self-expression becomes more integrated into how we celebrate our culture as a whole, one can only hope it continues to help us each feel at home in our own skins and among our peers.